What's cracking, everybody? It's your boy Woodworks LA. Today I'm showing you guys how I did this hat rack. It's for 8 hats. I know I got 9 on there right now. I just threw one up on the top. But I use cedar fence pickets, the same ones that I use to build all my planters. Now this thing cost me less than $8 to build. I used only 2 fence pickets. And if you're not getting your material in bulk, it's gonna cost you $3.50 a pop. I do, so I'm getting them for about $2 a piece. I left it unfinished, no stain. It looks super good as is. But this thing makes a super good birthday gift for your homie, a little Christmas gift for your nephew, whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. Leave a comment, leave a like if you like this kind of content. Share it. I really appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. All right, guys. So step number 1, go to Home Depot, go to the lumber section, and grab you 2 of the fence pickets, the cedar ones. They probably work with redwood as well, but I went with cedar, and like I mentioned, you're getting them not by the bulk, you're gonna pay about $3.50 a pop. Like I mentioned, I get them for about $2 because I buy them by the pallets. And right here, guys, I'm throwing them through the planer just because I don't like sanding, and I do have the luxury of having a planer. The planer leaves them super nice. It leaves it up to like a 220 grit feeling. But if you don't have a planer, don't worry about it, guys. Go ahead and just sand them down. I'd recommend sanding from 60 grit all the way up to 220 grit. And if you leave them unsanded or anything, it might start tearing the little fibers on your hats. So I would recommend sanding them down. Next, I went ahead and squared up the ends because these never come square. So I went ahead and nailed 3 pieces together. I know I said it's 2 of them, but I got a couple extra pieces to make a couple of these. I went ahead and cut the dog ear ends off, and then I cut the whole piece in half. Next, guys, I'm vacuuming all the dust off just so that when I glue these 2 pieces together, there's no dust. And I am gluing 2 pieces together, and that's the part that actually holds the hats up. And then the last piece is the piece that goes on the wall. And so here we go. I'm gluing everything up together. I quickly realized here that I put way too much glue. That little glue roller right there comes in handy. I'll show you guys which one it is. I got it right here off of Amazon. I'll also link that down in the description below. You could check out the tools and stuff that I use. But yeah, so spreading out that glue, making sure I got glue all over every single surface, just so that it's as close to one piece as possible. Like I mentioned, it's doubled up, and this is the part that holds the hats. Go ahead and clamp them on up. I know I hear a lot of people saying you can't have enough clamps, but this is where I really learned that. I'm trying to glue up every single part because, as you can see, I put that one clamp on, and then on the other side of the board, some parts don't want to close up. So using as many clamps as needed just to make sure that everything's nice and closed up, nice and tight. Go ahead and clean up all that glue squeeze out. All right, so I waited a couple hours. I think it was like 2 to 3 hours. Let it dry in the sun. You don't have to wait a whole day or nothing like that. By the way, I'm using Titebond 3. If you didn't see my glue up there, it's this one right here. Stuff is super good. I also have that link down in the description below. But it's super strong. It's waterproof. I know that's a little bit overkill for this project, but that's what I had in the shop, so that's what I like to use. I threw the table saw up on the table so that I could clean up those edges a little bit. Yeah, make them all flush. Did that on both sides. I think I cut off like an 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch maybe. Probably made the board about 5 inches. These come 5.5. But yeah, go ahead and clean up these edges, both sides. And then we're gonna go ahead and start that layout for the holes that actually hold the hats up. And for this layout, I marked every 4 inches, and I kind of tried to line up my tape. As you can, if you notice there, I'm trying to line it up as close to the center down the middle of that board, because then I will go ahead and grab my square. And I think I marked 2.5 inches, and I'm trying to meet every single mark with my square. If you're a little bit off, it's all right. Just go ahead and make a little intersection with your pencil there. And just make sure that you're using the same measurement from your square. If you don't have a square, you could always pull your tape off the side of the board. Make the intersection, like I said, every 4 inches. And then I'm getting ready to drill these holes, and I put a little sacrificial board down there just so that my hole dozer and my drill doesn't hit my table. But these hole dozer sets, I'll show you guys. It's this one right here. Real useful. They come in bigger sizes and whatnot. You get super giant sizes, but in this case, I think I'm using 1.5 inches. So I went ahead and drilled these all out. Okay, guys, and as you saw, there was a little bit of tear out on those holes, and no worries, because I will be routing those over. I'll be doing a little round over edge on that. If you want to keep a cleaner hole, I recommend getting a Forstner bit. It looks like this right here. They leave cleaner holes, but I'm not too sure as far as tear out. You might get a little bit of tear out, but these hole dozers, they do leave a good amount of tear out just because they're construction grade. They're not really meant for fine stuff like this. But so I threw my miter saw at a 15-degree angle, and I kind of tried to eyeball the center of that hole, and then I made an inch mark. I went 1/2 inch each way. You can kind of see them. I should have recorded this for you guys a little bit closer up, but in front of the hole there, where the blade is meeting the board, you could kind of see I put two little marks, and they're an inch. They're an inch wide. I just, like I mentioned, I just kind of eyeballed the center of the hole, and then I marked a 1/2 inch both ways, and then that's where I cut the 15-degree slots. And I kind of just, my miter saw is sliding, so I kind of just stopped it to where it wouldn't cut through that whole entire hole, if that makes any sense. So most of the work is pretty much done. Now I'm just grabbing the router, getting ready to round over all these edges. I recommend, if you're using a router, go ahead and use a sacrificial piece so that you can kind of gauge how deep you want the round over to be. Or you could also just kind of like go little by little. I recommend going little by little because you can always go a little bit more. If you go too much, you can't really put it back. So yeah, so rounding over all these edges. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have rounded over this back edge because this is the part that meets the board that goes attached to the wall. So I probably should have just left this part flat. But nonetheless, I did it either way. It's not a big deal. But like I said, in hindsight, I probably would not round over this backside. But here it goes, rounding over every single edge. All right, and here goes the last and final piece. It just stays as is. You cut it the same length as the actual part that holds the hats, obviously. I went ahead and rounded just the front side of it. I didn't round over the back side because that's the part that meets the wall. So like I said, just the front side, round over, and then we're gonna get ready and attach the two pieces together. Okay, and so that part that holds the hats is gonna go dead center on this board. A quick tip to get the center of a board is to just kind of slant your tape to where each end is on a even number, and then you just mark the center of it. No need to pull out the calculator and get the center of that. Quick little tip right there. I went ahead and snapped a line just so I could know where to put the glue. As you can see here, threw some glue on, got the hat holder right in place. I kind of just try to line up the seam with that chalk mark. Threw a quick tack on each side, flipped it on over, and then I went ahead and put some more pins into the backside. So I did want to throw some screws in here just because I didn't want it to be easily knocked off of this, or I didn't want either of the pieces to separate if it were to be hit sideways. So I did the same thing right here. Snapped the line just so I know where to put my pins and my screws. A couple more pins, and then I got ready for some screws. I have a countersink bit, and I used 1 5/8" screws to go ahead and just lock it in. It's just 3 screws in total, 2 on the ends, 1 in the middle. And like I mentioned, guys, in the beginning of the video, this board is just cut in half. Those cedar fence pickets come in 6 foot, so it's about 3 feet in total. I think I did go ahead and trim off the ends a little bit more once I had like my final product, just to kind of even everything out. But finishing off with these screws right here, that countersink bit leaves the screw head nice and embedded into the piece there. And right here, just getting it ready for my hats, throwing it up onto the wall. I did use some drywall anchors. I used a pre-drill bit to go ahead and just pre-drill through the piece and into the drywall. Threw some anchors in there, and then I got some interior screws and threw them on in. But nonetheless, guys, enjoy the rest of this video. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And there it is, guys. Peace.